It is 2:14 a.m. The house is silent. The only light is the blue glow of your screen, or the street lamp sneaking through the blinds. You know you should be sleeping, but your bedroom feels like a battlefield, and you are losing the war against your own mind. Again, take a breath. What if I told you, you are not broken, you are just built different? For a long time, you might have called this insomnia. You might have called it a problem. You might have looked at the ceiling and felt a sense of dread, wondering why your brain refuses to have an off switch like everyone else. But I want you to take a deep breath, hold it for a second, and let it go. What if the reason you are awake right now is not because you are bad at sleeping, but because you are incredibly good at being alone? There is a specific psychology behind the person who comes alive in the quiet hours. There is a reason why you feel a strange, secret sense of relief when the sun goes down. It is because your mind operates on a different frequency, a frequency that requires solitude, silence, and space to function at its highest level. You do not hate sleep. You just love the freedom of the night more. In this video, we are going to walk through 9 rare personality traits of people who love being alone. These are not just habits, they are deep psychological markers. As we count them down from 9 to 1, you are going to see your late night wakefulness in a completely new light. You will realize that your insomnia is actually a sign of a high-level mind protecting its most valuable assets. By the time we reach number 1, you will no longer see the night as a curse. You will see it as your superpower. Number 9, you have a master-level need for energetic boundaries. Think about your average day. From the moment you wake up, you are under siege. It starts with the alarm, then the commute, then the boss who needs a report, then the friend who needs advice, then the family member who needs attention. The world is a constant, noisy machine that demands pieces of you. For most people, this is just life. They move through it, unaware of the toll it takes. But for you, it feels different. You have a trait that psychologists often link to high sensitivity. You are acutely aware of your energy reserves. You treat your mental energy like a bank account, and during the day, everyone is making withdrawals. You might find yourself smiling and nodding at a dinner party, while internally, you are checking your watch, calculating exactly how many minutes until you can leave. This isn't because you are rude, it is because your internal alarm system is going off. You can feel your battery draining. This is why the night calls to you. The night is the only time of day that offers a perfect, impenetrable boundary. When the clock strikes midnight, the world signs a silent contract with you. It promises to leave you alone. No one calls you at 2 a.m. unless the house is on fire. No one expects you to answer an email. The expectations of society drop to 0. You stay awake not because you can't sleep, but because you are enjoying the safety of that boundary. You are engaging in what researchers call protective buffering. You are shielding your core self from the demands of others. The silence of your bedroom is the physical manifestation of the word no. It is a fortress. You need this time to feel like you own yourself again. If you went to sleep immediately after a busy day, you would feel like you lived the entire 24 hours for other people. Staying up late is your way of reclaiming a percentage of your life for yourself. It is an act of energetic sovereignty. And once you have established that boundary, once the drawbridge is up and the castle is secure, you are finally free to seek what you're actually looking for. Number 8, you crave deep connection over shallow interaction. Have you ever stood in a group of people chatting about the weather or sports or what they bought at the grocery store and felt a physical wave of exhaustion wash over you? It feels like you are chewing on cardboard. It is dry. It is tasteless. It is boring. This is a classic sign of the nocturnal mind. You have a low tolerance for the superficial. You do not hate people. In fact, you probably love people very deeply. What you hate is the mask. During the day, society runs on masks. How are you? I'm fine. It is a script. It is a performance. But you crave the raw footage. You want to know what people are afraid of. You want to know their childhood traumas, their wildest dreams, their theories about the universe. You want the stuff that is hidden in the basement, not the stuff that is put out on the front porch. This desire for depth is a primary driver of your late night habits. Have you noticed that the quality of conversation changes after midnight? There is a phenomenon often called the 3 a.m. confessional. When people are tired, their defenses drop, the ego gets sleepy, and suddenly they start telling the truth. If you are the type of person who stays up late, you are likely the therapist of your friend group. You are the one people call when they are falling apart. You are the one they trust with their secrets. Why? Because they know you are awake, and they know you are listening, but often you are awake alone. And even then, this trait is active. You are seeking a deep connection with the universe, or with art, or with truth. You are reading books that challenge you. You are listening to music that makes you cry. You are not interested in skimming the surface of life. You are a deep-sea diver. The daytime is for snorkeling. The night is for the Marianas Trench. You stay awake because you are waiting for the noise to stop so you can finally hear something real. Have you ever had one of those midnight conversations that changed everything? But diving that deep requires you to look at the one person who is hardest to understand. Number 7, you possess radical self-awareness. Let's be honest about something. For the average person, being alone in a dark room with nothing but their own thoughts is terrifying. They will do anything to avoid it. They will scroll through social media until their eyes burn. They will leave the TV on for background noise. They will drink to numb the silence. Why? Because when the distractions stop, the mirror turns on. But you face the mirror. This trait is called radical self-awareness. It is the ability and the compulsion to look at yourself with brutal honesty. When you're lying in bed and you can't sleep, what is your brain doing? It is often conducting a performance review of your life. You're replaying a conversation from 5 years ago where you said something embarrassing. You are analyzing why you got angry at your partner. You're questioning your career path. You're wondering if you are a good person. This can feel like anxiety. It can feel like torture. But let's reframe it. This is not just worry. This is work. You're doing the heavy lifting of character development. A study from the University of Rochester found that solitude is crucial for self-regulation, the ability to understand and control your own emotions. While the rest of the world is sleeping to escape their problems, you are awake, facing yours. You are auditing your soul. This is a trait of high-level minds. You're not satisfied with living on autopilot. You want to know why you do what you do. You want to be better tomorrow than you were today. And the only way to do that is to review the tapes. Your insomnia is often just your brain refusing to clock out until the paperwork is done. You are processing the data of your existence. It is heavy work, and it takes a strong back to carry it, which leads us to the next trait. Number 6, you have developed emotional resilience. There's a story about an old oak tree in a field of reeds. When the wind blows gently, the reeds dance and the oak stands still. But when the hurricane comes, the reeds are flattened. The oak tree loses a few branches, it groans, it shakes, but it stays standing. You are the oak tree. People who spend a lot of time alone, particularly at night, develop a thick skin. Think about it. When you're awake at 3 a.m. and you feel a sudden spike of fear about the future, who is there to comfort you? Who is there to hold your hand? No one. It is just you. You have to learn to self-soothe. You have to learn to rationalize your own fears. You have to be your own parent, your own best friend, and your own therapist. Over years of sleepless nights, you have built up a reservoir of emotional self-reliance. This is a rare and powerful trait. Most people rely heavily on external validation. They need someone to tell them, it's going to be okay. You know how to tell yourself that. This resilience bleeds into your daytime life. When a crisis hits at work, or when a relationship hits a rocky patch, you are often the calmest person in the room. You don't panic easily. Why would you? You have faced the demons in the dark 1,000 times. You have sat with your own shadow and survived. You might feel tired, yes, but you're not weak. You have endured the long hours of the night, and that has forged a strength in you that the morning people simply do not have. You are comfortable in the void. And because you are strong enough to stand alone, you no longer feel the need to follow the herd. Number 5, you value independence over approval. We live in a world that is obsessed with synchronization. We are taught from kindergarten to line up. We are taught to wake up at the same time, eat at the same time, work at the same time. We are social animals, and the pressure to conform is enormous, but the nocturnal mind is naturally rebellious. If you love the night, it is likely because you have a fierce streak of independence. You do not like being managed. You do not like being told what to do. The schedule of the 9 to 5 world feels like a cage to you. The night is the only time when you are truly the master of your own destiny. At 2 a.m., there are no rules. If you want to eat cereal for dinner, you can. If you want to paint, you can. If you want to stare at the wall, you can. There's no authority figure watching you. Research into chronotypes, your body's natural sleep rhythm, suggests that night owls tend to score higher on traits of nonconformity and risk-taking. You're willing to walk a path that others are afraid of. You are willing to be out of step with the world if it means being in step with yourself. Your inability to sleep is often a subconscious protest. Your spirit is rejecting the rigid structure of the day. It is saying, I am not a machine. I am a free agent. You stay awake to prove to yourself that you still own your time. You are stealing hours back from the system. By the way, if you are recognizing yourself in these traits right now, and you want to talk about it with people who actually get it, people who are awake at the same hour as you, hit the subscribe button and join the Nocturnal Mind community. We are all here in the comments at $3 a.m. You are not alone. Now, let's go deeper. Because while this independence is powerful, it doesn't mean you are cold. In fact, the reason you need so much solitude is often because you feel things too intensely. Number 4, you have high empathy, the sponge effect. Imagine you're walking around all day wearing a white shirt. Every time you interact with someone, they throw a little bit of paint on you. If they are angry, they throw red paint. If they are sad, blue paint. If they are stressed, gray paint. By the time you get home at 6 p.m., your shirt is covered. You are heavy. You're stained with the emotions of 100 other people. This is what life feels like for a person with high empathy. You are an emotional sponge. You don't just understand what others are feeling. You absorb it. You walk into a room and instantly feel the tension between two people. You watch the news and feel the pain of strangers as if it were your own. This is a beautiful gift. It makes you kind. It makes you compassionate, but it is also exhausting. This is why the night is non-negotiable for you. You need the solitude to wash the shirt. You cannot go to sleep immediately because you're still vibrating with the energy of the day. You need a decompression chamber. You need a few hours where the input is zero. No voices, no faces, no feelings other than your own. The silence of the night acts as a detox. It allows you to wring out the sponge. You sit in the quiet, and slowly the red and blue and gray paint fades away, and you find yourself again. You aren't avoiding sleep. You're engaging in emotional hygiene. You're cleaning your slate so that you can wake up tomorrow and care again. Do you feel the weight of other people's emotions at the end of the day, like carrying something that isn't even yours? And once the emotional noise is gone, your mind becomes hungry. It doesn't want to rest. It wants to explore. Number 3, you have a radical openness to experience. Here is a scenario. It is 1 a.m. You are tired. You get in bed. You pick up your phone to check the weather. 20 minutes later, you are reading an article about the history of the fork. Then you're watching a video about how black holes distort time. Then you're looking up flights to Iceland. Welcome to the rabbit hole. This isn't attention deficit. This is a personality trait called openness to experience, and it is one of the strongest markers of the nocturnal mind. You have a brain that is fundamentally curious. The daytime world is often too practical for you. It is filled with traffic lights, grocery lists, and meetings. It is repetitive, but your mind craves novelty. It craves the strange, the abstract, the unknown. When the world goes quiet, your curiosity takes the wheel. You become an explorer. You want to know how things work. You want to connect dots that shouldn't be connected. Psychologists have found that people who stay up late tend to have higher fluid intelligence, the ability to solve new problems and see patterns. Your late-night browsing habits are actually a form of self-education. You're feeding a brain that is starving for wonder. You stay awake because the universe is simply too interesting to ignore. You feel like if you close your eyes, you might miss a piece of the puzzle. You're a map maker, charting territories of knowledge that the rest of the world is too busy to visit. How many times have you fallen down a rabbit hole at night and come out changed? And all this new information needs to be sorted. It needs to be filed. Which brings us to number 2. Number 2, you engage in constructive introspection. There is a difference between thinking and thinking about thinking. Most people think about what they need to do. I need to buy milk. Oh, I need to finish that report. You, however, think about the nature of thought itself. This is called introspection. It is the ability to examine your own internal processes. You are a philosopher by nature. When you're lying in the dark, your brain shifts into a different mode. Neuroscientists call this the activation of the default mode network. This is a network in the brain that lights up when we are not focused on a specific task. It is responsible for autobiographical memory, envisioning the future, and understanding the perspectives of others. For the nocturnal mind, the default mode network is a supercomputer. You are running simulations. You're taking the empathy we talked about, the curiosity, the self-awareness, and you're mixing them all together. You are trying to figure out the theory of everything for your own life. Oh, why did that relationship fail? What is my true purpose? How does my past connect to my future? This can feel like overthinking, but that is a lazy word. You are not overthinking, you are optimizing. You are looking for the underlying code of your reality so you can rewrite it. You are fixing the bugs in your worldview. This deep processing requires silence. It requires the stillness of the night. You cannot do this kind of work while the sun is up and the phone is ringing. You need the laboratory to be empty. And finally, this brings us to the number 1 trait, the ultimate reason why your mind refuses to sleep, the payoff for all those lost hours. Number 1, you possess exceptional creativity. There's a reason why the stereotype of the tortured artist working by candlelight exists. There's a reason why writers, musicians, coders, and inventors often do their best work while the rest of the world is snoring. It is not a coincidence, it is biology. Here's the secret. Creativity hates rules. And the part of your brain that enforces rules, the prefrontal cortex, is the part that is most active during the day. It is the manager. It tells you to be practical. It tells you to be realistic. It edits your ideas before they even have a chance to breathe. But at night, the manager gets tired. As you get sleepy, your frontal lobe begins to relax. Your inhibitions lower, and this is where the magic happens. Your brain enters a state of hypnagogia, the borderland between wakefulness and sleep. In this state, the barriers between unrelated ideas crumble. You can connect a memory from your childhood with a fact you learned yesterday and an emotion you felt yesterday, and suddenly, zap, the spark, the idea, the solution. How many of your best ideas arrived exactly in that half-asleep state? You stay awake because you are in a flow state. You are channeling something. Whether you're actually creating art or just visualizing a better life, you're engaging in the highest form of human cognition. Your insomnia is often just creative energy that has nowhere to go. It is your muse knocking on the door, demanding to be let in. Your brain knows that this is the golden hour, and it refuses to waste it on something as mundane as sleep. So let's look at that clock again. It is late, the world is dark, you are alone. For years, you have looked at this moment with guilt. You have fought against it. You have tried to force yourself into the mold of the morning person. But look at the list we just went through. You have strong boundaries. You crave deep connection. You are self-aware. You are resilient. You are independent. You are empathetic. You are curious. You are introspective. And you are creative. These are not the traits of a broken person. These are the traits of a visionary. The world needs people who can wake up at 6 a.m. and keep the trains running on time. But the world also needs people like you, the watchmen, the dreamers, the ones who stay awake to think the thoughts that the others are too busy to think. So tonight, instead of fighting the night, embrace it. Get up. Open a notebook. Read. Breathe. This is your time. You earned it. And if you want to connect with thousands of others who speak this language, who understand why the night feels like home, join the Nocturnal Mind community. Drop in the comments which trait hit you the hardest. I rate every single one, usually around 3 a.m., just like you. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's keep having these conversations in the dark. Sleep when you can. Until then, stay awake, stay brilliant.